Hi, it's me, Ryan again. Um, Perhaps you watched me play Dwarf Fortress the other night. If you did, you probably remember that I mentioned a fort that I had running. I just wanted to take a few minutes and, I don't know, sort of show that off. It's actually in the middle of some interesting times right now. I've lost a fair bit of population due to some events that have happened, mostly just things that have showed up. Um, yeah, So the most recent thing to happen, I'm just going to zoom out so we can get a wide view here. The most recent thing to happen was a goblin siege that showed up from the civilization of the Gould Lead, the Gould Leash, the Ghoul Leash, something like that. Oddly enough, all of the invaders were in fact dwarves, so that was pretty interesting. Uh, those are shit. That's not how you zoom back in. Those are mostly their corpses out by the front gate there. Um, in the past, in the past year or two, I've also had a dragon, a giant, and a were-skink show up. The were-skink was an interesting one because I haven't actually dealt with that sort of thing before. So I completely overlooked the fact that when you get bitten by a were thing, you turn into a were thing. So where'd they go? A couple of my folks turned into were skinks um, while they were in hospital. Actually, it was not great. Um, so yeah, our population right now is just under 100. I think without all of the recent casualties, we'd easily be over 120. If we just go and look at yeah, we've lost a lot of soldiers mostly. When the dragon showed up, I was very inequipped for that, but I did manage to eventually pin it inside and take it down pretty handily. Um, the Colossus, the giant, was a pushover. That was no big deal. So these are the stats on the fort right now. We just got a migrant wave, primarily a bunch of farmer types. I'm at the point now where it's getting kind of hard to keep track of all of my folks and who's good at what, so labor is a little inefficient at the moment. I think I might install Dwarf Therapist and spend some time sorting things out before I do much work. I'm probably not going to be doing much actual play here right now, just sort of doing a tour at the moment. Um, so yeah, this is just sort of my exterior. I've got pretty nice walls set up. At some point, I need to build scaffolding here to get out to these last bits of fortification because they're just kind of annoying hanging out like that. Um, this is the second gate that I've built actually. This one's made of chert. I had one made of wood that the dragon burned down. That's why everything out here is gray, by the way, because the world is still covered in ash. So we also have just a basic barracks and an archery range out here too, so that even when they're idle, my military is pretty close to where they need to be. Going inside, I'm working on some additional defenses at the moment. These are going to be ballistas set up here down this hallway. I have some catapults set up. I might move those around. I don't know, just to start training up siege operators. I can probably recruit some, wood burners or soap. Well, no, soap makers I want. Um, or some of these extra doctors. I don't know. Towards that. I just recently put a bunch of people back into the military to make up for what I had lost. None of them are particularly well skilled, but they're armored and armed pretty decently. Got iron. Don't have steel. I don't think I have fluxstone, but I'm also not particularly sure what exactly I'm looking for there. I'm sure I could just look it up, but whatever. Actually, oddly enough, most of this hillside, this mountain that I'm dug into, is made of obsidian. So that's been pretty useful, just in terms of making wealth. valuable than most other kinds of stone. So yeah, working on this ballista setup here, and that's all going to just be like ammo storage behind it or something. The main entrance to my fort actually just goes down this ramp here, which leads to this little turnaround. On the right here, I've got the trade depot with just a shitload of cages in it, because I'm not sure where. I think they need like those actually go in like an animal stockpile when they're not in use, and I don't have one of those. And then that was just like the first little bunk room that I made when I was first setting this fort up. Then I've got these trap hallways, cage traps, mixed weapon and stone, that sort of thing. When the dragon showed up, the only thing that's made it in here was the dragon, and it actually just walked through all of this. I didn't have the cages set up at that point. But yeah, it did not even care about the large serrated iron discs or anything. So I might be beefing that up at some point. I looked it up, and apparently higher quality mechanisms basically give you better like attack rolls on traps. So I might have to like tear all of these out and make sure I'm using good ones. So for this fort, I was sort of explicitly trying not to fall back on the sorts of designs that I've used in the past. So this one is very circular. As you can see here, it goes up and down like this for a while, and each one of these floors is broken up into 4 quadrants roughly. So up top we have farming, food production. We've got our tanner, butchery, fish workshop down here. And then up top, we've just got our stills and our kitchens, as well as a farmer's workshop. And then on the right, we have a bit of soap production. We've got an ashery, a wood burner, and a soap thing over there. Yeah, not much to say here. As I mentioned in the other video, it's a really good use of space to stack storage under production. That way you don't have people running across sea levels. Like every time they make something in the workshop, they just have to, like, in this case, run to the back of the room to the stairs, and then they're right down in storage. So down here we've got food storage and a dining hall, as well as our cloth industry right under the farms, so they can get the pigtails right there. And then we also just have some, what is this over here? I don't even remember. Oh, leatherworking, right underneath the butcher and the tanner. Combining, streamlining the sort of production flow there, so that pigtails and animal hides and stuff don't need to get hauled around the fort. They just drop right down to where they need to go. The next level underneath is our main production floor. We have furniture on the left, finished goods on the right, and our forges on top. And then on the bottom is just some ancillary stuff, mechanics, and the siege workshop. Haven't really done too much with that yet, just the stuff that you've seen on the surface before. Yeah, over here we also have the gem workshop, and we also have a lot of mussel shells, because we have a seemingly inexhaustible supply of mussels coming in from the brook. We actually have... I hadn't really been paying attention to how the workflow was going there, because I haven't been in trouble for food for a while now. I should say this fort is a few years old now, so it's pretty stable. I just reassigned some more folks to prepare fish, and I think we only have like the one dedicated fisher dwarf, but he's legendary at it. I think he might be... Has he been here from the start? She's a member of the Solid Races. Yeah, I think she's here from the start. I'm not sure how many of my original group are still here. I believe she lost her teeth in... She had her foot crushed and lost her teeth. When was that? Was that with the giant? I think that was with the giant. But it doesn't really bother her. She's just been working ever since with her mangled arm and broken foot. Yeah. Anyway, going back through stuff. So we've got production. We got production. This is primarily just storage. This is all just storage here. Furniture, finished goods, metal goods on the top, and mechanisms and siege stuff on the bottom. Got all the ballista parts down here. I also haven't smoothed out the first layer because it's, you know, half stone, half soil, but everything below has been smoothed out so far. So we have production, we have storage, and then we have this area set aside for, we have the hospital up in this quadrant up here, which is also the Chief Medical Dwarf's office. We have some offices over here for the manager, I believe this is the bookkeeper, the mayor down here, and these are all combined rooms because since our population is still pretty low, they don't have, like, you know, they just need decent quarters, decent offices, things like that, and with the goods that we have, we can get that pretty well, pretty easily. You know, most of their stuff is either gem crusted or shell crusted. We also have, this is the only bedrooms really that I have right now are these sort of communal bunks. I haven't set aside time for planning out personal quarters yet. Nobody seems to mind too much. One thing I do is I just keep booze stockpiles over here in the bunks so that, you know, when they wake up thirsty, they can just run right over there. Also got, you know, well, that should have goblets in it, but it doesn't. I should probably just mandate, like, hey, make... Goblet? No, they called something else when they're mugs. Yeah, give me like 30 more mugs. That should do. So going down again, this is where we have some recreational areas. We have something of like a bath up here. I just rigged it up to draw out of the brook. And it actually just pours out into... Excuse me. It just pours out into the lower levels where we're doing some exploratory mining. I was hoping to hit like a, you know, cavern cistern system by this point and drain it into there, but yeah. I was initially filling it up just like by bucket, but given all of the violence up at the surface, like people tracked in a lot of blood, which was not great. I'm not sure who Kogan Labor Drill is. Do I know them? Is that you? Are you Kogan Labor Drill? No, you're Kogan Gravel Hole. But he's made a mess of the place, and there's also some of that. There's also some of that wereskink blood, which I'm pretty sure that's only transmitted by bite. It's probably fine to just have some of that splattered on the walls down here. That's probably fine. Yeah. I'm not sure how to make dwarves like use that to clean themselves or whatever. I've tried to set up like a stockpile for soap down here, but like they're just not bringing it down. I think for a while it was getting mixed in with the supplies for the forge up here. How much soap do we have up here? We got coyote soap, we got dragon soap. Yeah, our fortress has been eaten pretty well of dragon meat, so that's pretty cool. I think when it died, it dropped a stack of like 230 something meat. We've still got a bunch of that left. As well as, you know, tallow and bones and everything, which have turned into some very valuable soap and some very valuable finished goods. Yeah. So aside from that, that's pretty much all that's going on at the... Oh, no, right, we have this. We have sort of a communal tomb here. Yeah, Cyril was one of the dwarves that got skink bit. So yeah, we've got coffins up here and then slabs down here when you don't have a body to recover. You can't like inter them in a coffin, so you have to carve a memorial slab for them. So that's what we've had to do for a number of dwarves. We probably have some more that still need to be like respectfully interred, I think. Yeah, we have a lot. Oh no, some of these are already ones that are memorialized and entombed. But yeah, there's still some more that need to be taken care of. I think ghosts are still a thing. Let me check that quick. Like I know their family isn't happy if their bodies aren't like memorialized properly. Dwarf Fortress ghosts. Yeah, that's also still a thing. If you don't bury them or carve a slab for them, they might show back as ghosts. And just do all sorts of spooky shit. Oh, there's a murderous ghost. Okay. That's a thing to look out for, I guess. Cool. Yeah, let's get on that. I hope I still have some extra slabs around. Alright, everyone else is good. So yeah, if we go down past that, it's just, you know, more mining. We're down into, I think it's granite down here now? Oh, you're right. This is a world that I put mineral frequency up like 1 tick higher than normal, I think, just because, again, I didn't want to, like, you know, deal with scarcity that much. I've had a lot of tetrahedrite here, which is pretty cool, because you can use that. It counts, like, it's mostly an ore of copper, but it has, like, a really small chance of producing silver when you smelt it. But you can also just use it as an ore of silver in, like, alloy making. So I've been making a lot of billin, which is copper and silver alloyed, to, you know, sort of spread that silver value out. So aside from that, that's pretty much all that's going on here at the moment. I've been thinking about means to expand. One problem that I've had is I keep all of my animals just kind of like pastured out here in this main area. The problem with that is that it's not very secure at all. I might like fence in an area somewhere for that, but I'm not sure. Maybe like dig a tunnel back around here and just like wall up an area up here to put them in. I had a pretty big herd of livestock that all got roasted by the dragon, so that kind of sucked. Yeah, I lost like llamas and donkeys, turkeys, cavies, bulls, billy goats. A lot of them are still showing up as missing because their bodies were just annihilated. Dragon fire is very hot. It can turn bones into ash. Oddly enough, there's still a bunch of horse teeth around. I don't know what that's about. I've been trying to get these guys to like dump all of this garbage out here, but I don't know if there's like an order that I have that's making them refuse to do that. I apologize about my voice. Been feeling kind of Garbo this week. Greta Garbo. So I've also been thinking about, I mean, at a certain point, you just, like, you're stable and you just want to start, like, doing something dumb. So I've been thinking about just, like, drafting a bunch of people to churn out, I didn't really comment on the temple. I made a temple. I don't know much about temples. I know that the first time I built it, like when I first designated the area for it, like 60-70% of the fort was just like immediately like, shit, I gotta get down there and pray. Presumably because they hadn't had like a space to do that for 4 years. Let's finish these chairs. I don't think like they conduct organized services or anything, but you know, gotta have like rows of pews or whatever. Haven't really decided what to do with the rest of the space here. I suppose one of these rooms could be a library, but I don't really know anything about how those work. I think I've picked up like some parchment and shit from traders. Yeah, but like I don't know how to like tell my dwarves to write books. I think if you set up a library, it'll start attracting like scholars and stuff from different areas. I should probably just set up like, yeah, just like temple, library, tavern down here. Because another thing you can do is set up a tavern. Excuse me. That'll attract like wandering adventurers and things like that. Although I'd probably want to have that closer to the surface, so maybe build like, you know, dig out a little area out here, have it built, set aside into the wall here. And then, yeah, what was I saying before? Thinking about just like drafting 5 or 6 dwarves to just start churning out like obsidian blocks and start making like a big ass obsidian tower or something. Because, you know, like I said, like at a certain point, like you're stable and you don't really need to worry about your dwarves like starving or being without drink or, you know, being under threat of siege and things like that. Because it's like, yeah, I've dealt with like a siege and a giant and a dragon and a wereskink and stuff. Like, we've taken a lot of losses, but we're fixing our defenses. There's some obvious things that I can do to make that more secure. So at a certain point, you just need to start doing some dumb project, right? Yeah, and that's pretty much just what's going on here. I don't think I'm going to play any tonight. Kind of just wanted to show off what I had going on. I do like this design. I probably just like ripped it off wholesale from somebody. I forget. But it's pretty pleasant to look at. Probably not super efficient, but it looks nice. Yeah, so that's what's going on in my fort in HomageWheel. Maybe I'll do an update like the next time I put some time in and like maybe play out another year or two, but I don't know when that's gonna be. So yeah, thanks for watching. Take it easy.